And joining us on the line to talk about his great new song, we're joined by Colin Lillie. G'day, Colin. How you doing there?
Well, how are you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic. I'm loving the accents. Whereabouts in Scotland you from?
I'm originally from just outside Glasgow, Motherwell, Hamilton, and then we moved through to Edinburgh. So I did most of my growing up outside Edinburgh, about an hour away from Edinburgh. And then I ended up in the centre of Australia.
In the centre? Well,
Yes.
You've gone from the somewhere extremely cold to somewhere extremely hot. That must have been fun.
Oh, I guess it was one of those fortunate things that, like some places you go to discover some places and some places go to discover you. And I just feel that Alice Springs, basically, when I got there, that's where I was meant to be. There was a rock there, an ancient rock, and underneath was Colin hidden under there, and I discovered, I guess, the real me in Alice.
It's interesting you say that when you go to places and you feel some sort of connection that you never expected. And from my side of it, when I went in 2017 and travelled to the UK, and when we landed in Inverness, I felt like I was home. And I said that to everyone I was travelling with. I said, I feel home. I hated leaving there. I didn't want to. There was something, I couldn't explain it. I can still feel it now. And it's just, when I think about it, it just feels like home. I don't know why.
Yeah, I took the family, my wife's Aboriginal, and we're a blended family, and we took all our boys home for a holiday, and her middle one basically was like, when we got to Scotland, was like, my people. my people, that's what it was like, my people. So it was really cool, and he's the most standout kind of kid, out of them all, which was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed that.
Have you introduced them to haggis?
Yeah, our oldest one, he loved haggis. No matter where we went, he basically had haggis nachos, haggis sausages, haggis. He had haggis traditional. He bought back tins and tins of haggis, and I was like going, I don't know if you'll get through customs with that, Leland. And he just went, I'll get through, don't you worry. And he brought a whole load of haggis back. He fell in love with haggis, so that was one of the real cool, magical things. The wife wasn't too keen on it, but it's a bit like when we have they have roux tail and stuff. It's a bit funny that way. Yeah.
Yes, I can understand that, and then it is. I just find haggis a bit of an acquired taste, and if I've got an ale and a whiskey there to help me with it, it seems to go down a bit better somehow. Yeah,
the whiskey sauce. You've got to have that haggis sauce.
Oh dear. The thing. So you're out here in the Red Centre, and you're starting this new life and all that. So how have you always been musical, or how does the music tie into all this?
Well, funnily enough, I did some music when I was at school, but after I left school, life took me in a different direction. I didn't really do music, and it wasn't until I started travelling with an Irish girlfriend I had. I said, look, I want to learn guitar. And we went to Europe, and so music it was pretty new. When I got to Alice Springs, I only knew about 3 chords and the truth. Yeah. So that was basically it. That was it, and it's still the same. It's still 3 chords and the truth from now. So it's really only been in the last decade or the last 12 years that music's really been a big part of who I am.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly easier to tell just looking at the video clip you've done for your current single, The War, and just listening to the song itself. It is a big part of your life, and I just enjoy just the surprising changes with what you do. That sort of gets me. I think, okay, this bloke's going to be like this, and then I go, no. That's the thing with those Scottish people. They're full of surprises, and they catch you when you least expect it.
Thank you. Yes, it was when we were recording. Catherine Brett, who produced it, she heard the song when we were demoing it, and she went, I've got a few ideas for this, and I was like, I'm not too sure about that. But once we got into the swing of it, it just made sense for the way the track developed. It was pretty magical the way things came about.
Yeah, the time signature change. That when I first heard it, that got me, and I was like, "What? Was there something wrong?" I thought there was a problem with my file, and then I went back and listened, and I went, "No." And then it just was a natural flow, and it just felt right. and that and then bringing it back down, and it just seemed to really, she was spot on with her judgment on that. So, but it really, if you're not prepared for it, you're thinking, what's wrong? There's something going on here? But it's brilliantly done. It's it's a country song when you think about it, but it's got this prog rock element to it.
Yep. I think the beautiful thing for me is that being a songwriter, I'm always allowing the song to dictate and tell me what it wants to become.
Yep.
Because I feel like nowadays everybody is looking for a genre. Everybody's looking, what genre are you? Where do you sit? And for me, I just want to be known as a songwriter. And wherever the song wants to take me, that's where I'm going to end up. So for me, it's all about creating, and I've been really lucky with. I feel like I'm finding my feet a bit more with these up and coming songs that I'm releasing, especially with the war.
Well, one of the things when you were just talking about it, you reminded me of a comment by Shane Nicholson, who helped on your song as well, and he said that one of the things that the biggest problem that artists have today, and from his wearing his producer's hat, is having them get out of the way of the song. And you've just described that perfectly, of letting the song dictate, and that can be one of the hardest things for an artist to do. You want it to be a certain way, and when someone suggests something, you go, no, it's got to be like this, got to be like this. And then if you get out of the way, let it happen and evolve, it's amazing what it can be, and it just suddenly takes a whole new life.
Yeah, he's absolutely spot on. Yeah, I think what I feel is that, we live in a world where so many artists now can do everything on their own. And we forget that being part of an industry where we and it's all about collaboration and bringing people in, and part of that collaboration is about letting go and allowing people to put their magic and their talent into what it is you're doing. And when that happens, I feel that that's when some really beautiful, incredible things come to life. And then that's when people are surprised. And most importantly, it's when I get surprised the most. If I end up being surprised, and it's just like, wow, that is just the most incredible, exciting bit of work I've done.
And it's great when you're a listener and you get surprised and you get in on it. That's just a great feeling as well. Now, Colin, tell me about the video that you've done for the song.
Yeah, we came up with this idea for the clip that was all about, the narrative of the song is all about, finding that inner strength within yourself, and knowing that no matter where you're going or where you are in life, things can come good. And sometimes that wisdom can come from the strangest of places. Sometimes, so the idea of the song was me wanting to show that a child can show you wisdom at the strangest of times. And, you can hear something beautiful from people who have been through the most tragic things in life. And then it's about allowing that idea that no matter what happens, where that love is, that love is inside you, and it'll always come back to you when you need it. So the clip was really done beautifully by Jasmine Productions up in Brisbane. And, it was done with me filming in Alice Springs and then sending it over, and Jazz doing the rest of the filming in Gympie.
The kids in it, they're not your kids?
No, that's actually Jazz, who is the producer. That's her son. So, yeah.
No, I just wondered when you mentioned about your kids, I just wondered if they were involved in the clip as well. It's a beautiful clip, really well done. And it's good to see your craggy Scottish face in there too, buddy. I love that. I mean that so nicely too. Now, Colin, I understand you mentioned Catherine Britt before, and she's been helping you. You've got a duet with her. What's all that about?
Yeah, so we're releasing an EP at Tamworth this year, which is a 4-track EP. Which, when lockdown had happened last year, 2020, I got in touch with Catherine and said, "Look, I'd love to do a co-write." She said, "No problem." I sent her this melody with just with a few words, and she came back with some lyrics. And then we said, geez, that was awfully easy. We should do a bit more. And we ended up doing this EP. But yeah, the track is a beautiful song, all about the idea that, we've been in lockdown and then we have to go and travel again. And our family's saying, well, we've had you, we've really enjoyed you being around. But again, it's about us saying, well, this is what I do for work. I've got to go back out on the road. Yeah. I'm missing the road. It's where I make my money. It's where we pay the bills. So And it's just that idea of the relationships we have, saying we'll always remember that back here is home, and this is where the love really lies.
Yeah. Do you enjoy writing on your own or with someone like Catherine?
I think being in Alice Springs, there's always that idea. I've always written when I'm on the road, and I'm being a solo artist, I've always been on my own. So I've had some great opportunities, and I think it's a more of a confidence thing when I'm writing with someone else.
Yep.
It gives me the opportunity just to see how well I've progressed. And when you're working with the standard that Catherine is, you sort of realise that, I'm doing something that's worthy here, and I'm doing okay. So yeah, it's good to basically get the opportunities. I love writing for other people, so it's one of the magical things, I guess. That's the collaboration and the creation.
And when you're doing that, you're learning and growing, and they're learning and growing as well. So it's a good universal thing. Now, what is this about? You've written a song for a BBC production.
Oh yeah, I had a song off my last album that was Shades of Love, but it was called Human Kind of Life. And it got on to the BBC production of Wakefield.
Okay.
So, which has been highly credited all over the world for its portray of mental health. So I was really excited when that happened. That was a beautiful opportunity for my music to get out to a wider audience.
That's brilliant. Is that something you want to do more of, writing for things like that, or having your songs picked up that way?
Absolutely. I think that's, especially in this post-COVID planet we're in, I think that's more and more something that songwriters, I think we always wanted to get that song onto a movie or that. I think my one of my biggest dreams is to win an Oscar for Best Original Song in a movie. That would just be an ultimate, that would be incredible. I think creating music so that it's telling, you're telling a story when you write a song, but when your music is helping tell another story, someone else's story, that's just a different experience altogether.
Well, I hope that happens for you. But remember one thing, if you do win it, because you're now living in this country, you're an Australian, so it's an Australian Oscar. It's not a Scottish Oscar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because we're claiming you, buddy. You win an Oscar, you're ours.
I would have to say that, without any doubt, this music journey that I'm on and the songwriting and that would never have happened if I had not ended up in Australia and ended up in Alice Springs and then travelling the country and being able to express myself. It was here in Australia that I learned who I am, what I wanted to be, and how better I can be. So yeah, it's definitely an Australian Oscar.
How do you describe the country and the outback and the beauty and just the way it looks to the folks back in Scotland when they ask you? How do you explain it to them?
I think the best way to explain it, the best way I've been able to explain it to them is that, as an individual, I was always afraid of being in a space on my own. It didn't matter where I was.
Yep.
I could be in the smallest of spaces or the biggest of spaces. Alice Springs and the Northern Territory and Australia as a whole is so much space.
Yep.
So you can either begin to feel comfortable within yourself and enjoy the space, or you can basically stay in where you are. And I guess I chose to be part of the space, to become something more and allow me to grow into the space. And I think that's a beautiful thing about Australia, because it has all this sky. You can grow into the space, and it's boundless and endless opportunities and possibilities.
That's beautifully put, mate. Thank you for saying that, because, I've often tried to wrestle with how to describe it, and that's a beautiful way of doing it, the space, because there is so much space here.
Yeah.
And I know to our relatives back in the UK, the only way I could explain it to them is I'd go outside and say, you see all the shades of green you've got here and all the lush green? Well, in Australia, it's more like shades of brown. And red, and that's I can only do it in a colour way, but the way you've done it is absolutely perfect too.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's all that, the colours are amazing as well. It's all those deep purples and stuff. But again, that's a flip of the coin for me. I've always looked at being when people say, how come you ended up? I say, well, it's same but different. Yeah, it's just a flip of the coin. It's like cold and wet where I grew up and where I live now. And they do say that home is where you die. that's home, you know. So, like, would you call it? I definitely think I've found my home, like, you know.
Well, good on you. Good on you. We're glad you're here too. Well, Colin,
Thank you.
we've got your new single here ready. It's called The War. It's out now and people can check it out. They can go to your website too. I've got that up in front of me right now as well. That's colinlillie.com.au. We can find out all about the Gypsy Scotsman that you are, all about your music, and the Beardy blog. We can even give that a bit of a read too. But you're on your way to Tamworth. Hopefully we'll chat, maybe on your way to Tamworth. We might even see if we can arrange it. That'd be great. And we can get to hear this new song you've done with Catherine. But right now, we've got your current single here. If you could please introduce it for us, and thank you so much for spending time with us today on Flow.
Thank you very much. This is Colin Lillie, and I'm really excited to share the song The War.
I once knew a boy who fought a war, and he shared in the pain and all he saw. And he told me a secret that shone so bright, that helped him through his darkest night. Oh, I once knew a boy who fought a war, and he taught me to stand and not to fall. You're not alone. Your dreams will show you your road. Don't let them go. Fight with the flame that you hold. I once knew a girl who fought a war, from raging fists and bloody mold. So she ran and ran until one day that blinding light, it came her way. I once knew a girl who fought a war, and she taught me to stand and not to fall. You're not alone. Your dreams will show you the road. Don't let them go. Fight with the flame that you hold. Stars all around. When times are rough and you need a friend, the stars will shine again. Those stars will shine, my friend. I once knew a man who fought a war. Now he stands before you and sings his song.